Welcome to Sports Guy Talking. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am joined by guest Shawn Davisson today to debate about which draft prospect is most likely to become a draft steal in the 2022 NBA draft. To be specific, these candidates are draft prospects that are not expected to be drafted in the lottery pick area, which is picks 1 through 14. There are certainly some candidates that stand out more than others. Before I say anything else, though, I want to present you guys with a topic question. So, here it is. Who will be the biggest draft steal of the 2022 NBA draft?
All right, man. I got four names I want to give you, but we'll mainly stick to one. But I'm going to go with the three that I'm not going to go with first. One is Kennedy Chandler. Kennedy Chandler from Kentucky, point guard, all the talent in the world. I mean, I could see him being an incredible player, but if you look at him, he's 6 feet tall, pretty short, but that hasn't stopped guys like Jalen Brunson, Chris Paul, people like that. Um, I could see it really working out for him, but he is short, could be a defensive liability, has to figure some things out, but he has a lot of talent. So Kennedy Chandler is an option. Another guy heavily debated was Christian Brown out of Kansas. I really like him a lot. I've liked him all in college. I mean, he's a winner, national champion, and he's a smart player. He knows where to be. He has skills that translate. He can shoot. I mean, he can play inside, plays defense. Anything the NBA would want to turn into, he could translate his game into that. He's a do-it-all player. Wendell Moore out of Duke. I mean, that's a guy that I could see being I don't see star potential in him, but I could see him being a 3-and-D player in the league for a very long time. I mean, he has all the skills. He can play 1 to 3. He can guard 1 to 4. I mean, man, I think Wendell Moore could be in the league for a long time, but I don't necessarily see star potential. I'm going with someone that's probably going to be picked in the second round that could, if he hits, be multiple-time All-Star one day. I'm going to go with Patrick Baldwin Jr. I mean, this man out of high school, incredible. He was number one prospect at one point. He was top 5 mostly. Could have gone anywhere in the country. He chose to go to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where his dad coached, and it just didn't work out for him there. He had some injuries, some things don't work out. But, man, if this thing works out for him, he's going to be great. He's got a great shooting stroke. I think NBA scouts drool over that. I think he's got so much potential. I think he could be really good.
Well, you just kind of took the wind and sails out because I was going to say Patrick Baldwin Jr. That's going to be my biggest draft steal. I really like this Patrick Baldwin Jr. guy. I know that this guy's got injuries, just hasn't worked out for him. He hasn't been able to stay on the court. But if he can stay on the court, and this is a big if, I think this guy's going to end up being one of the top players that will be coming out of the 2022 NBA draft when we look back in a few years and say, how did that guy fall down so far? I really like Patrick Baldwin's game. I really like the way that he plays. He's a good player. He can make plays happen. He can shoot the basketball. Yeah, he's not a great defender, but he's not exactly terrible. And when I think about ceiling, this guy's ceiling is through the roof. Tell me a guy that's projected to be bottom of the first, early second round pick. That's player comparison could possibly be Kevin Durant as a ceiling. This is the kind of guy that can turn around a franchise if he can stay on the floor. If he can go to a team like the Milwaukee Bucks, he could develop into a number 2. Okay, not a number 2 option, but he can develop into a number 3 option behind Giannis and Chris Middleton or something like that. Or if he goes to the Denver Nuggets, he could serve as a solid number 3 option for the Denver Nuggets. He might fill in the role that Michael Porter Jr. was supposed to fill in for the Denver Nuggets. When you look at Patrick Baldwin, man, he just makes plays happen. And when I look at this guy, I think Andrew Wiggins on the offensive side of the ball. He can make his shots. He can space the floor really well. He's got a little bit of handles in him. And he's actually got a pretty good post game. So I really like Patrick Baldwin's game. That's why I'm going to go with him as the biggest draft steal of the 2022 NBA draft. I 100% agree with you on that front.
Yeah, man, Patrick Baldwin Jr., I mean, I watched a lot of this guy's tape in high school. I always thought he was going to go Duke as a Duke fan. I'm like, oh, I want to learn more about this guy if he's going to come here. It looked like it was Duke the whole way until COVID hit, didn't really get to take any visits, and ended up going to the school with his dad. But he was Duke's earliest, or he was Coach K's earliest offer, youngest offer ever. I mean, that should tell you something about this guy. I mean, he's got all it takes. Like you said, the post-up game is there. Shooting stroke is there. The thing that worries everyone, obviously, is didn't play great competition. And in his, I think, 13 games he played, he shot about 35% from the field. and obviously had all the attention on him, but it's got to be better than that.
Yeah, it's
But I
got to be
think,
better than that. But he was also playing at a smaller school, so that means
yeah,
everybody was basically keying in on him. It's not like he had a number two option that's going to be going to the NBA moving forward or something like that. I mean, come on, give the guy a break. I mean, sometimes stats can be misleading, okay? And I know Patrick Baldwin, I'm not going to pretend that he's exactly the most efficient shooter out there, but who's to say if he goes to an NBA team and they put him in the right situation, his efficiency is going to all of a sudden jump up, and then everybody's going to be saying, how did that guy's shooting efficiency jump up? And then I'm going to be telling you it's because he's going to be playing on a team that's going to be putting him in a much better position to succeed. This guy had difficult competition to deal with at the collegiate level. And I want to address about what you said about Duke. I was very surprised when he didn't go to Duke. When I saw that he committed, where he committed, I was very surprised to see that happen. I was like, why'd he go there? But, with the father-son thing, maybe he just felt influenced to go over there. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. But yeah, since we apparently decided to agree about Patrick Baldwin, and we did not know this before the video started, just to make that clear, okay, where do we think that Patrick Baldwin is going to go to?
man, I don't know. This is could be a big thing for him. I don't want him to go to a team that's going to ask him to do too much. Like you said, Nuggets would be perfect. Bucks would be perfect. A place where he can go, stretch the floor. Be it here, I'm going to give my player comparison for him. Harrison Barnes. If he can go and be a Harrison Barnes and, shoot the ball a little bit and not be asked to do too much, play some good defense and, just make plays when you're asked to, I mean, that'd be perfect for him. If he can just slowly develop, I mean, I think eventually here's how Kawhi Leonard got to be Kawhi Leonard. Let me tell you this. He goes to the Spurs in a situation where he's not asked to do too much. All he's asked to do is play defense and catch and shoot. You know what he ends up doing? Next time he catches the ball. First time it's a catch and shoot. Next time it's, fake dribble drive to the basket. And then it's pull up mid range. He starts doing a little more and more. If Patrick Baldwin can end up doing something like that, go to a place where he's not asked to do much, and then slowly develop into being his own shot creator, stuff like that, that'd be perfect for him. So like you said, I'm going to steal what you said. I'm going to say Nuggets would be great for him. Bucks would be good for him. And then I think like a Grizzlies team would be really good for him. I know they have Jaren Jackson Jr. and stuff like that, but and Valanciunas, but if he could come off the bench, I don't see a problem with that whatsoever to start.
Yeah, I just feel like for Patrick Baldwin, if he's to be successful, he should join a contending team that needs some young pieces, some young energy. That's kind of where I'm at, but let's go ahead and ask this since we also decided to agree about where he should land. Okay, let's say, hypothetically speaking, he lands on a bad franchise or a team that's in rebuilding mode, like the Indiana Pacers, for an example, or the OKC Thunder, where they're rebuilding, or the Portland Trailblazers. You think those are fits for him?
Yeah, I think they're fits for him. It kind of depends on situation, like Pacers. Um, I'd actually like it if he would go to a team like we just mentioned, because I don't think it'd be ideal for him, but he's able to be put in a system right away where as maybe a second round pick, he's able to put up 10 to 15 points a game already as a rookie. And I don't think that's too much to ask from him. I think he has all the potential to do that in the world, especially in an entire summer in an NBA system. I think that'd be okay for him. Not ideal, like I said, but I don't think if he ended up in a situation like that, it'd be all crash and burn for him.
Yeah, the only thing that will stop him from being a good player in the NBA is if he gets hurt. I mean, if you take the injury factor out of it, and if he can somehow manage to get himself healthy, this is a guy that we should probably be talking about in the lottery. The fact that we're talking about this guy going in the second round, that already tells me this guy's going to be the biggest draft steal, just because of the fact he's already so low down. And I'm telling you what, if you take Patrick Baldwin late in the first, early in the second round, you're going to be saying, man, we got to steal. And if it doesn't work out, well, it's not like if we had picked another player, he would have been as good as Patrick Baldwin. More than likely, Patrick Baldwin is a guy that can make plays happen. You want playmakers. You want guys that can score the ball. You want guys that can switch on defense. Like you were saying yesterday, Patrick Baldwin Jr., he's the guy that you got to go ahead and trust. You got to go ahead, pick him. He's 6'10", 231. He's pretty thick enough, but if he can add on some muscle, this is a guy that can get to the hoop whenever he wants to. And if on the off chance everything goes smooth for Patrick Baldwin, this guy could develop into the next Kevin Durant of the next generation. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and make that hot take right now. I really like Patrick Baldwin's game. I'm telling you what, he's really underrated, and I think too many people are sleeping on this guy's game.
You know what? If he ends up being multi-time All-Star, like 8-time All-Star in his career, 8, that I wouldn't be like, wow, I am super surprised by that. I'd be, I am, I wouldn't be shocked. Let's say that. I wouldn't be shocked. I'd be surprised. I would not be shocked because this man has always had what it takes. And I think he would benefit from a bigger floor in the NBA and more spacing and stuff like that. I think that would benefit him. And if he goes somewhere where the attention's not all on him like it was at Wisconsin, Milwaukee, I mean, I think that would benefit him greatly. So the only thing that worries about me considering him a steal in the draft is I've been keeping track with him a lot, and I hope he does well. So I've been looking at his workouts, and he didn't have very many. And then over the past few days, he's had so many workouts with so many NBA teams. Maybe teams are starting to realize, hey, we really like what this guy brings to the table. They might take him. He might be a surprise pick in the late lottery or early, outside the lottery portion. But right now, as it stands, I see him as a second round pick. But if he's one of those draft night surprises, I'd completely understand why an NBA franchise would pick him up there. When you're in the late lottery, it depends on what kind of team you are. But if you're rebuilding, why not swing for the fences and try and get a superstar?
Yeah, because this guy has legitimate superstar potential. And if he's taken with like the 18th pick or something like that in the NBA draft, if somebody that's like in the lower first round pick or in the second round pick trades up for like a pick somewhere in the top 20, they will trade up for this guy. And I would not be very surprised if that happens. But let's just say what's good to be expected on draft night. Patrick Baldwin is going to be stuck late first, early second round. If he's selected there, he's going to end up being the biggest draft steal in the 2022 NBA draft. All right, well, thanks for being on the show, bro. Really appreciate you coming on here. Can't believe we actually thought the same thing for who would be the biggest draft steal. We literally had the same thought process. I'm just very surprised that happened. All right, make sure you follow his socials at Shawn Davisson on Instagram. He also has a Twitter account. Make sure you follow him at Shawn Davisson too. Again, thanks for being on the show, bro.
Of course. Thank you, man. It was great to agree on this with you.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, greatly appreciated. All right, bro. See ya.
See ya.
Yup. Bye. That was Shawn Davisson that you guys just heard. All right, so he's going to go with Patrick Baldwin in a surprising pick for what he'll say will be the biggest draft steal in the 2022 NBA draft. I'm also going to go with Patrick Baldwin as my pick for the 2022 NBA draft. That will become the biggest steal. I didn't think that he actually was going to agree with me because what I said was somewhat of a bold take, but he's going to go ahead and agree with that bold take with me 100%. That doesn't happen too often. Out of all the players that he could have picked, he picked the one that I thought was going to be the biggest draft steal. So that's just kind of surprising. It's pretty cool, though, to think like that, though. So that is why I believe Patrick Baldwin Jr. will be the biggest draft steal of the 2022 NBA draft. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking. Like the video and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I may shout you guys out in a future video. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at Dustin Tran and at Sports Guy Talking. Also, go follow me on Twitter at Dustin Tran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video. Comment down below. Check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel, Sports Guy Talking.